Director Quentin Tarantino's ear for music has always been a key component of his films ever since Reservoir Dogs in '92. But why exactly does he regularly opt for soundtracks over scores?
Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. We can talk about this. I am more than happy to tell you how my music and my movies go together and create a special thing.
Music in the Tarantino universe has become a tool for plot advancement and character development. Through interactions with sound or minimal dialogue, Tarantino's characters can often reveal new sides of themselves. Take Pulp Fiction for example. When Mia Wallace and Vincent Vega enter the dance contest at Jack Rabbit Slim's, we know Vega to be somewhat of a serious hitman. Through the music and awkward situation, we see a completely different side to him. His facial expressions struggle to keep a serious stance while his body jerks all over the place. We now view him as a funny, daring, and less uptight guy. All of this character development is created through the use of music and setting. Without the music, we probably would have never been introduced to this side of Vincent.
Found work, the little money coming worked out well. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It goes to show you never can tell.
The following scene here, where Mia dances to Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon, and Vincent delivers a hilarious monologue, we witness some plot advancement. The song is clearly used ironically because it's setting up a sexual moment between the two characters, which is then juxtaposed with John Travolta's speech to himself. He's trying to be that serious guy again, and the plot advances because the music isolates Mia, loosens her up, and leaves her in a state of fulfillment. Without Vincent by her side, his only job, she overdoses on cocaine. Again, without the music, would this scene have been effective? Mia probably wouldn't have shown her wild side, or if she did, it wouldn't have worked as well. Are you beginning to see how important music is in Tarantino's films? Personally, I'd argue it's as powerful as his use of dialogue.
So, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna say goodnight, I've had a very lovely evening. Walk out the door, get in the car, go home, jerk off, and that's all you're gonna do.
I want to stick with Pulp Fiction just briefly. Tarantino doesn't always use music to advance plot or develop characters. Sometimes it can just be used for foreshadowing. When the infamous Mizzaloo plays in the opening credits, it seamlessly switches to Jungle Boogie. This highlights the film you're about to see, an interchanging of stories and interconnecting of characters. The mixture of eclectic pulp and pop symbolizes the rollercoaster ride that is Pulp Fiction. In an interview, Tarantino once said, "I don't believe in putting in music as a band-aid to get you over some rough parts or bad filmmaking. If it's there, it's got to add or take it to another level." And I find that to be very true. Some directors use music just to connect scenes together or transition to a different story. Yes, I'm looking at you, Guy Ritchie. Perhaps the most mature use of music is found in Jackie Brown, particularly in the scenes of Max and Jackie herself. There are only 2 moments of pure calm and quiet within the film, which Tarantino manipulates to play some mellow soul music. Tarantino does this to emphasize the love that Cherry has for Brown. Neither character ever tells the other, "I love you," and only in the final scene of the entire movie do we get an announcement of love, so to speak. But we recognize this love to be present because of how Cherry is framed, the way he looks at her. The music confirms it.
Pretty.
Just look at those long lens zooms into Cherry's face. Without either of these 2 scenes, would we have ever had one of the greatest on-screen romances of all time? Probably not. Whoa, hold up. We haven't spoken about violence yet? While the focus has been on music that advances plot and develops character, how about looking at how Tarantino pieces sound over some good old violence? Stuck in the Middle with You is the most iconic Tarantino soundtrack. Why? Because it shows just how far Vic Vega will go. Not only that, but it makes an uncomfortable scene incredibly fun to watch. It's Tarantino's way of fusing the scene of the audience, grabbing their attention with 2 contrasting things, torture and soft rock. It's also Tarantino's way of saying, "Hey look, it's okay to enjoy this, here's some music to further that enjoyment." And while Madsen's singing is pure genius, it also shows how twisted his character is, and yet again, develops that side of his character. When Vic Vega then says,
Was that as good for you as it was for me?
It's almost a direct address to the audience. You can't listen to Stuck in the Middle with You without vividly remembering Madsen's bumbling dance and descent into madness. Now that to me is a masterful use of music in film. QT never gets rid of the style that made him the hottest director in town after Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction hit the scene. Even in Death Proof, a film widely accepted to be the weakest in his filmography, you see that use of music shine bright as ever. Much like Stuck in the Middle with You, we as the audience are invited to enjoy a violent occurrence through the use of ironic music. Typically, a score full of dread would hover over the scene. Instead we get rock music, but that's not to say it's ineffective. What this does is build tension, discomfort and excitement. You don't want the girls to get hurt, but then you kinda do. That exhilaration can only be found in a Quentin Tarantino film. If it's not advancing plot or character, the music is immersing the audience in the director's banal universe. As many great artists do, Tarantino borrows and revives older things. In Kill Bill, it's the whistling from psychological thriller Twisted Nerve. It's used hauntingly in Kill Bill though. The argument here is that any old film can use something like this to build tension, but Tarantino frames it beautifully. By lowering the camera, it makes the audience fear Elle. She's slightly disguised as a nurse, but attracting attention to herself by whistling. The dichotomy of these two things introduce us to her character and personality before she even says a word. Just from one simple action, we learn quite a bit about Elle. Despite Tarantino's focus on dialogue, he clearly knows when to lift the pen off the paper and allow music to do the talking. Perhaps the one singular moment that develops a character most is in Inglourious Bastards. Shoshana preparing for her night of revenge. With David Bowie's vocals laid over a large part of this dialogueless scene, it almost feels like a training montage, but what it achieves is two things. It creates a somber and tentative atmosphere while also highlighting Shoshana's progression. She's gone from this meek woman to someone ready to murder heaps of Nazis, including Hitler. The close-up shots combine with music to emphasize her power and complete control over her actions. This, to me, is perhaps Tarantino's most beautiful use of music in his film, because it really highlights just how fast his characters develop through the use of music. There are many imitators, but there is no one in the business that uses music as effectively as Tarantino does. The tracks tell their own story, with the lyrics often embodying a character's feelings. And if the music isn't doing that, it's definitely moving the plot along or developing characters. Next time you watch a Tarantino film, make sure your ears are nice and clean, because you may just be witnessing a moment of genius.
If you put the right piece of music with the right scene and the right sequence, then I actually truly think it's maybe the most cinematic thing you can do. It's the most magical cinema can be.